Welcome to This Won't Last podcast. Thank you for joining us today. We're going to talk about a few things, mainly streaming platforms, favorite streaming platforms, / a few comments, thoughts, and processes that we had about the entire streaming process.
When you say streaming,
I'm talking about videos, not like,
not fans only.
No, that either.
Okay.
I guess, that could be a potential platform, but we do some news first, I think. But before any of that, introductions. To my left, P. Breezy.
What up, dude?
To my right, D. Easy, the
Rona boy summer.
The Rona boy summer, winter.
I got a little cold coming. I got the classic story.
Coronavirus!
I was at work the other day, right? And I had my mask on. And I was helping this lady. And I coughed. But it was cough because I had swallowed something.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't see through my mask I was eating something. And I coughed because I had swallowed something. She just threw her mask on so quick. It was the funniest thing. I said, ma'am, it's just because I'm eating something.
She know the mask isn't really meant to protect the people from catching it. It's meant to prevent you from spreading it.
That's how it's supposed to be.
So I had one of the first experiences of actually sneezing into my mask today. Because normally I have enough kind of leeway where I just, grab the hook behind my ear, pull it down, and just sneeze into my elbow.
Yeah.
That was not pleasant.
Miserable, fucking miserable.
I am Ryan B. Online, by the way. It was pretty awful. But I don't know. I'm certainly not so offended by it that I think that I need to scream about my freedoms and tell everybody that they're sheeple and.
Well, on a brighter note, I love to wear my mask after lunch because it smells like what I eat. The rest of the day I be smelling chicken.
Well, when I drive home for lunch, I put in about 4 things of gum. But that is the way it is, I suppose. You have to wear these masks now when you're out in public. Out in Publix. So, something we're all adjusting to overall. We've had almost 8 months now. So I think we should be okay.
There's a vaccine out.
There's a vaccine out. There are several vaccines out.
There's vaccines out.
There's one that they tested in, was that Finland or something? Coronavirus.
The Pfizer.
The one we were looking at that you just showed me a video of. Like the first one I think was in Finland, correct? Or am I completely imagining that? Paul's busy.
I have no idea.
Anyways, it was not America.
Not America.
But at least the first one that they talked about, who knows whether or not there's any vaccines that were administered in China. Not going to get into that, but 4 vaccines I think that are majorly ahead in production and whatnot. And Pfizer has gotten emergency clearance to go ahead and put it into mass production. And looks like we're going to get this thing circulating pretty soon here. Not that means that this is going to end anytime soon, but It's certainly a start. Step in the right direction.
We're in a pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
Don't feel like it in Florida.
We're in a plandemic.
Everything's open in Florida.
There is not a whole lot closed.
Ain't nothing I can't do that I wasn't doing before the pandemic started.
Right. You just have to put your mask on and slightly less capacity.
Bruh, I don't be seeing these people wear masks because I wear masks. I'm faithful to the mask thing, but I don't be seeing people wearing masks.
Listen, I still go out to karaoke every now and again, and nobody's really doing any distancing. Nobody's like, it's barely even there. Which is why I'm happy to wear my mask, because I can't plan for the idiots that I meet at the bar.
But if you wear your mask, then you're not helping you, you're helping them.
I mean, helping the people who, like my 80-year-old father or people like that, the multiple elderly people who I come in contact with all day because I work at a supermarket in Florida. But
I thought the mask keep you from getting somebody sick.
No, well, yeah, that's what I mean.
So if you wear a mask and they don't, it's really not helping you.
I don't care if it's helping me. I say I that's why I wear a mask, because I can't account for the people at the bars that I interact with.
Be honest with you, man. People come through my line because we got a mask mandate now, and people come to our line and they see us with our mask on, they get so offended. You don't have to wear that around me. I'm like, bro, I like getting paychecks.
Yep. For one, it's not about your personal feeling
Exactly.
It's about liability, uh, which is the biggest factor. Because if you or somebody else does get it, and you want to sue everybody because you're like, oh, well, you weren't wearing masks, then why the hell should we do that when you probably shouldn't have been out in the first place? That was the number one direction from the CDC is social distancing, avoiding unnecessary trips.
Well, I'm talking about clients. I ain't talking about myself. I'm talking about clients. They get offended.
I know, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying your reaction should be, I'm not wearing it because,
No, I'm not giving.
it's
giving
liability more than it is just getting paid.
I'm not giving them that justified to go ahead and explain. I just say this sound like my paychecks.
Yeah, that's not what you're saying.
I'm not giving that
care.
justified.
I will say it was nice. We went over to the East Coast for just like a half a day, just like go to IKEA and get some bullshit. And it was nice, like seeing people actually wearing masks.
Yep.
Went over to Sawgrass real quick, and like this big mall, and people are out there like people very well to do.
Yep.
All wearing masks.
It's
A
all
few
over.
assholes, but for the most part,
Wearing
You
masks.
sugar
cannot.
daddies and sugar babies.
You cannot go anywhere in Immokalee without seeing a mask. Like they are faithful down there.
Yep.
I love that. Hometown be representing. But when you cross that, when you cross the North Carolina line, when you go south, 45 minutes, where the rich people at, they are not wearing masks.
They don't care. They and the thing about it is also you got to realize that like it's an echo chamber down here. It's an echo chamber in most of Collier County, where you've got a lot of these conservatives who are just like, nope, it's not the way it is. Herd immunity. Donald Trump says it's nothing to be afraid of, so we're not going to listen to this. And they all just say the same thing to one another, and they all pat each other on the back, and they all meet up at fucking Oaks Farm, and then they think, wow, look at all these people around me who are agreeing with me. I must be super right. And that's how.
I mean, they are super right.
They are super right. That's absolutely correct.
They're not correct, but they're super right.
That's
I will
correct.
say this.
That's correct. They are super right.
Since we had our mask mandate for like maybe the last 3 weeks, a lot of people has told me they had it, and they say it's like a common cold.
And most people do say it's like common cold, but that's the problem is that there's a lot of people out there who it is particularly bad for. People who are at risk, people with weakened immune systems.
Bro, you
people
preaching to the choir.
Yeah.
You ain't got. I'm just telling you what they saying, bro. You preaching to the choir. I already know.
But here's the other thing: most of what they are talking about with the immunity that comes from catching it naturally seems to only be about 3 months, and they can catch it again, if that. So it's not like a traditional virus. It's very unique. It's a unique strain. It does a lot of different things.
We had a college football player.
The mask isn't to stop it entirely; it's just to mitigate it.
We had a football player. The Hurricanes. We actually 2 weeks ago had to shut our program down.
Yep.
Because we had an outbreak, and we had a football player that's out for the rest of the year because he caught the COVID and it enlarged his heart.
Mm-hmm.
This is crazy.
There's a lot of permanent lung damage. Some people are suffering permanent brain damage, probably due to the respiratory issues, and yeah, things like that. So.
And worse, they say your dick ain't gonna work.
I know, right? It's gonna fly off.
That's when niggas gonna take it serious. Wait, what? It fell off for him? I need 3 masks.
No, it don't stay there. It just won't do anything.
Well, that's already happening.
Dangle.
Not for me, but I'm just saying. It's a lot of people.
Dish.
Yeah, I got a lot of friends that talks about they have that erectile function thing, dysfunction thing. I be like, bruh, you need some Bluetooth.
Bluetooth. Is it showing up in your targeted ads, D?
Y'all know we don't got no Bluetooth
ads. my Facebook guy, my Facebook targeted ad guy, he was looking through my internet history. He was like, "Listen, you masturbate a lot. You need some Bluetooth." It's like, no, I don't need the Bluetooth. I masturbate a lot.
Yeah, it's working, player. It's working.
Now for a series we hope will go on for a while. This won't last, sells out. We know it's winter in the Northern Hemisphere, and everyone outside of Florida and California is bundling up. Just because it's cold outside, baby, is no reason to not treat yourself to or loved one to a hot new swimsuit, or if we may be so bold, bikini. Even if the beaches are closed or frozen over, there's bound to be a hot tub with your name on it somewhere. We've partnered with luxury designer Bright Swimwear, based out of Sweden, Sweden, to offer our listeners 25% off their apparel using our code TWL25. Whether you're looking for an itsy bitsy bikini or searching for the elusive one piece, they've got you covered. Literally. With many style options to choose from and many ways to mix and match, anyone from a petite to a more full-figured lady or gentleman can find whatever look suits them. Check our brightswimwear.com and use code TWL25 at checkout for your 25% discount. brightswimwear.com. They're macaroni in the pot. brightswimwear.com, TWL25. Doesn't it just? So shall we move on to news?
Yeah, let's start the episode.
I feel like that was a good intro. It's organic. So starting out, you want to start with those? You want me? All right. According to We Got This Covered, Dacker Montgomery. Well, first off, should we talk about the announcements that have been made at the investors meeting?
Yeah, I'll go and do it.
So, numerous announcements were made at the Disney investors meeting about Marvel shows, Star Wars shows, etc., etc. One of which was that it is officially in the works at Fox, Marvel, Disney, Fox, the conglomerate, that Fantastic Four movie is in the works. It's in the works. According to We Got This Covered, Dacker Montgomery, star of Stranger Things. I forget his name on the show, but he was the douchebag brother of the redhead girl. Billy, that's right. He's in talk to play Human Torch in John Watts' Fantastic Four.
What was his name again?
It's Dacker Montgomery. Dacre.
You also know him as the Red Ranger from the emo Power Rangers movie.
It was a pretty good movie. I enjoyed it.
It wasn't bad. It was just a little too young adult.
It was. It kind of it looked like a big budget YouTube fan film.
Yeah, except the low budget YouTube fan film was fucking dope.
Better. Yeah, but that one came after the reboot.
No?
Is it really a reboot? Is it really a reboot? Like the Power Rangers Dark, whatever you want to call it?
The movie, yeah, is a reboot.
Okay. Obviously, it's not a continuation of the story, but it's kind of a
No, it's like
reimagining.
The story's a little different than the shows were. I don't know how much of it is being adjusted from the comics. I know the comics have been going on for a while, and they're crazy out there.
Yep.
Tommy has gone fucking off the fucking walls. There's two different versions of him. He's a fucking crazy Dark Lord Dakin or something like that. Weird fusion of green and white Ranger powers and a fucking cosmic badass. But
He can play a flute and wield a talking dagger. Sick. So I called it. I think that was my pick when we did our fan cast for Human Torch.
Did we do a fan cast?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
It was called Fantastic Four.
I think y'all did. I think I wasn't there for the episode.
No, I'm pretty sure you were there.
No, I wasn't there for the episode.
We'll show you after the record.
I don't remember picking anybody for that. I don't remember.
We'll listen to it afterwards.
I know we did one for certain X-Men, but I don't think we did. I wasn't there for the
I don't think we
the
did.
Fantastic Four one.
Did we do one for the X-Men?
yeah, we did that too.
Okay. Was I there for that one? Yep. Anyway, so also still talking about fan favorites of John Krasinski and Emily Blunt to play Miss Fantastic and Invisible Woman, respectively. Not the other way around. No castings have been confirmed.
Yeah, nothing, dude. The only thing official right now is that John Watts from the more recent Spider-Man movies is going to be in charge of it.
He's the director.
Which is probably a pretty good thing.
Yeah.
Did certainly a fine job on those movies.
Yeah.
Good news, in my opinion, because I called it.
There you go.
Also, he's kind of got a douchebaggy.
Yeah,
Yep.
I'll be honest. This is gonna sound bad. I don't care who they get Johnny Storm because it's fairly easy to do a pretty good Johnny Storm. I've liked all the Johnny Storms they've used.
Yep.
Even
Michael B.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was great. Because again, like all it really is a person who's like super cocky, but has that like. Eventually, you can see that kind of like that like he's doing this because he's insecure. Like there's a lot of ways you can take him. Like you can have him just be a bro, and that's fine. And a bro who eventually becomes a more full-fledged character, or a person who's he's so bombastic and like showboating because he has so much insecurity.
Mm-hmm.
I'm fine with all of them. Really, he's a pretty malleable character. Like he's not like tied down to anything. That's why I don't care if he's like what ethnicity he is or what his real background is. Like really, the main part is like him mostly just being a douchebag. As long as he's like a douchebag first, everything kind of like goes from there because that's what creates a lot of tension in the group because you have a nerd, you have the mother figure, the asshole, and the brute who's now a fucking monster.
The thing.
Like you have this like this constant tension back and forth.
I think it's important to have him be a pretty boy as well.
Yeah. That plays the whole douchebag thing.
No, plenty of douchebags who aren't pretty boys, but I suppose most pretty boys are douchebags. So is it more important that he's a pretty boy first and a douchebag second?
What comes first, the douche or the bag?
It depends on the kind of pretty boy. Like I'm perfectly fine with it.
The bag would have to come first.
I think like in most of the ones he's done, like I think Dacker has been more of a non-traditional pretty boy. Like especially in Stranger Things, like he pulls off that mullet.
Yeah.
Like let's be honest about it. He pulls off that mullet.
And even in that one, he's less of a pretty boy there than he is like a tough guy. Yeah. A young, thug.
He's a more accessible. What's your boy? The guy from Neighbors and High School Musical.
Zac Efron.
Yep. He's more accessible. Zac Efron. I think Zac Efron went too quickly from being like Disney kid to being like weirdly jacked adult. Yeah. There's very little in between time.
Yep.
So he went from like High School Musical to Neighbors real fucking quick.
What was that movie I liked him in? Saint something.
Huh?
He played a movie in Saint Matthew or Saint something. I forget the movie, but it was really good.
He's done a lot of movies.
Where he lost his brother or whatever.
He's done a lot of movies. I mean, he's done a lot of like varied movies too. I feel like Justin Timberlake light.
Justin Timberlake North.
I definitely feel like he's trying to like go in that same kind of vein almost.
Yeah.
Whereas I think Timberlake just didn't. He got kind of lost. He got stuck in the music for too long than they wanted to. But good on him. It's fine. Dacker. I think we had a conversation like Dacker is more feasible than Zac Efron. I think Zac Efron comes in with a lot of like not baggage, but like preconceptions.
Yeah. And I think it's just like you kind of talked about. It's like he has that background as being a Disney kid that kind of makes him like, all right, you have this image of him, and then you have the actual adult version image of him, and you're like, these don't really mesh.
Yeah, and I think because it being an ensemble film, Dacker works because he's less of a known property.
Yeah.
He's less of a known entity, so he's a bit more malleable. Like he doesn't have a personality. He doesn't have a personality in the public eye.
Yep.
He's only really known for two things. He's been in more stuff, but he's only really known for those two things.
I feel like the MCU didn't have a lot of misses when it comes to characters.
No,
so I kind of trust whatever they do. Whatever they do, I kind of trust it.
Yeah. Until proven wrong.
Exactly.
Gonna have some opportunities here. They've got an awful lot of stuff coming up.
Well, you know what? We'll skip the next one. We'll come back to that one. We'll keep going with the Marvel news for now.
All right. So, speaking of one of the other things that's announced, Ant-Man and the Wasp 3. Well, I guess Ant-Man 3, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. Dope title.
Very interesting title.
Yeah.
Especially with the main bad being Kang the Conqueror.
Yeah, I noticed that.
I mean, as far as I know, all the cast is coming back except for one person.
Yep.
Michelle Pfeiffer?
No.
Daughter.
Yep.
They're recasting daughter again.
Does she even really need to be in this one?
She's going to be. She's going to feature prominently.
They're
I
setting
believe.
her up to be the next to be a superhero. Like she is a superhero in the comics. They're setting her up to be one in future movies.
Part of the thing about having Kang be the villain and bringing Kang in general is that it gives you the opportunity to potentially do a Young Avengers movie, because in that one, a younger version of Kang goes back in time to get to group together his own Avengers in order to fight himself, more or less,
Yeah.
from the future,
It's a little convoluted to me.
which makes it perfect for the MCU.
Yeah, no,
Time travel.
Yeah, the recasting her with what's her name, Catherine Newton.
Yeah.
The only things I really saw that she's been in was Detective Pikachu. She didn't see that, you don't know. And then she's playing Freaky, which I think is the third Happy Death Day.
Is it a Happy Death Day movie?
Yeah, I think so.
Nice. I didn't realize that.
Third one now, where I think Vince Vaughn. In the second one, they revealed Vince Vaughn was the murderer. In this one, they switch bodies. So Vince Vaughn's murder character is inside the girl, going around killing all the students, while the girl is stuck in Vince Vaughn's body, trying to convince her friends who she is. And then shenanigans ensue from there.
It's an interesting play on the Freaky Friday concept.
I mean, she was along with the actress who played her in Endgame was very diplomatic about being replaced. And I guess she kind of, I mean, I'm sure she was told before, but she was kind of, I think more or less kind of found out what everybody else did.
Wow.
So I mean, she was diplomatic about it. Hopefully, trying to get a job, in another Disney or Marvel property. And she did fine. And she unfortunately didn't get a whole lot of screen time, but wish the best to her.
People don't like recast, and I don't get why.
I think it's just because it depends. Like, I think a lot of people, one, doesn't work out, and two, what's the reason for it? Like, we didn't get very much of her, so like, was she cast in in an emergency situation? Did she just not work out in a more grand role? Like, I think it's more the question is just like, you're recasting this, why are you recasting it? Because they've done very few recastings in the MCU, and most times they do it's because of big personalities that don't match up. So whether it's changing directors or actors, it's most times because whether, again, obviously two most famous ones, Ed Norton and your boy Terrence Howard.
Yeah.
I mean, those are the two most famous recastings.
I'll talk about in general, bigger than like MCU. People don't like recasts. Like I see a character for what the character is supposed to be, right? I feel like when I look at Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man, I don't see Robert Downey Jr. I see Tony Stark's Iron Man.
Right, which is the exact reason why they don't want to recast it, because they put that person with that role.
But what I'm saying is, shouldn't it be about anybody? What if there's another actor that can just say something happened to Robert Downey, and they put another person there, and he does just as good of a job? Should it matter that they recast if he did the job?
Well, we have it's already been decided that they're not going to do it, but we have a perfect opportunity for that already.
With the Black Panther, and that's more what I'm alluding to, but I'll go and just say that for later.
Like I said, will it work out? Again, people on the internet have nothing to do except
complain
and talk.
Yep.
So we don't know until it works out. Again, they complained about Heath Ledger for a year and a half before the movie came out.
Yep.
The moment he was cast, it was all
So
fucking Ten guy.
Yep.
Like all they saw were like the guy from all the teenage movies. So then the fucking Brokeback guy.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it was a lot of these.
I didn't know nothing about that.
I love the meme from where it says, "I wish I could quit you, Batman." Like,
I did not know he got a backlash.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they hated it.
I didn't know that.
The same thing with they didn't like Michael Keaton being cast as Batman.
And
Really?
Dark Knight turned out to be a brilliant film. Such a brilliant film, isn't it?
They didn't like Michael Keaton getting.
No, it's not Batman at all.
He did a good Batman.
It was like
in
their
me.
seventh choice.
Yep.
Who were the first two choices?
Probably I don't know, man. It was like the usual like action hero.
Knowing Tim Burton, probably Johnny Depp. Helena Bonham Carter.
But anyways, yeah, I mean, it was a lot of things. Because people just only recasting because they create attachments to these characters. Same reason why they freak out when you kill a character. Like, yeah, I mean, like they're not dead in real life. You know?
That's different though. But a character dying and a person playing the character, it's still the same character. A character dying, that means that character's going away. Like we never gonna see Tony Stark. Well, we shouldn't see Tony Stark again, right? Versus if Tony
we're never
Stark,
gonna see Black Widow again.
Listen, man, it's just that people get attached to it, man. That's all it is. I shouldn't even think all those years ago with the whole on Viv situation.
Well, I think, from my understanding, the Aunt Viv thing was more that they put a light-skinned character there than a dark-skinned character there. Like, they lighten her up. That was from my understanding. I could be wrong, but from my understanding, that's what people were mad about.
I mean, also, objectively, the first Aunt Viv was just a better character.
Well, she was, like, the second Aunt Viv was like a mother, stay-at-home mother.
So she was like more of an activist. She was more involved in it, whereas the second Aunt Viv, not bad, but again, she was more of a mother figure as opposed to like she was more of a mother hen as opposed to a strong black woman.
Yep.
They did the same thing.
She didn't have her own voice, her own. Yeah.
So again, they do that again. This is not like huge outrage.
So that's writing though, right? That's not the person that's playing it.
Probably not. But I mean, I don't know that that's a whole different situation. I'm just saying, people get attached. We're also in speculation. People just have nothing to do but talk about shit. It's usually not in their second home.
I wouldn't doubt that it probably was a lot of writing, and that probably picking her to change that to picking that actress to do it may have been because they were like, we need a new actress, somebody who's going to do this version of this character. Can you do it? And she's this and this and that, and then she auditions and go through the process and say, yep, this is the one.
Well, I was talking about I wasn't talking too much. I was talking about the great grand scheme of things. Like I'm super pissed that I want to see more T'Challa. Like why he got to die because died. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Because there'd be no way to do it without a huge backlash of recasting.
And nobody. You just said all these huge backlash and it worked. So why should that matter?
Yeah.
Because despite the fact that it's not
a good movie is gonna be a good movie no matter what, bro.
Yes, but I think because the person
you don't think John David Washington can do it? Just say it.
No.
John David Washington would be a great T'Challa.
No, he wouldn't be.
It would be a great T'Challa.
He has the same delivery as every movie.
Is that the writing?
The delivery?
With different movies?
I mean, you can say that. Well, Denzel showed a range, but like now they say he do the same thing, but like that's writing.
That's what he chooses. You tell me Denzel can't tell a no-name writer what to do?
That's right. So, you think you think that David Washington can? Of course not.
Of course you could.
He's
royalty.
Like 2 movies.
He's already royalty.
Regardless.
You can't tell Denzel's son that he can't.
If it gets to that point,
If it's my movie,
it won't even get
recast.
Then you got consequences.
Because the backlash of because all Disney would hear is you just pick another one. They're all the same, right? Just pick another one. That's all they would hear.
Well, they can say the same thing about
Yep. War Machine.
No, War Machine, but the girl we just talked about.
This girl.
Well, but she's a nobody actor. First off, she only was in for 5 minutes of the movie.
But she's gonna have a big role, though.
The no-name actress was replaced by a more known actress that has maybe she has better on-screen presence, whatever it might be. But
I was gonna say, well, they just go ahead and get.
Oh no, this actress is gonna cost more than the other one. She actually has movies under her belt.
No, I was talking about for the Black Panther. I was say, go ahead and get what the dude from Blade, Wesley Snipes. Like, go and get Snipes then. Just go get Snipes.
He wanted to do it. He wanted to do it.
The problem with replacing Boseman is like we talked about in previous episodes. Chadwick Boseman is an icon.
Well, I'm gonna say
He's
this.
become the first black superhero for a couple generations.
And unlike a lot of the previous examples we talked about, he's got 4 movies under his belt. He's got Civil War, he's got Black Panther, he's got Infinity War and Endgame. He featured fairly prominently in Infinity War. He had a big fucking scene in Endgame. Like he's the first one to come out of the portal in Endgame.
Well, I'm not going. I'm not going to.
He played a big part in Civil War.
I'm not going to speak for anything outside of the people that I've talked to about it. People that gave me their sentiments about it, and it was like what I'm hearing is from the geeks, from the black geeks, the nerds and stuff. They want more from the character. They don't want the character to die. But from the everyday person who may not have never read the comic, who may not they just seen the movie in the last movie, or they just seen them in these movies. They don't want. They want the sister to become Black Panther.
I think it'd be a fun way to do it. It has precedent in the comics for one. For another.
But hear me out though. They just didn't set her character in the first movie up as a warrior. They set her more of a like a teen like.
So that makes an interesting movie. I mean, she has to.
Well, like the way it's set up with the rules set up in the MCU, because again, like it's not exactly the same rules in the comics. The way it's set up in the MCU is that you have to fight for it, which would leave it for your boy.
Baku.
I would like to see what you call it become the Black Panther.
Winston Duke.
No, the chick, my baby mama.
Lupita Nyong'o.
No, the other one.
Denai Guerrero.
Denai. I would love to see her become, bro. Her character, bro. She's a warrior. That would be perfect, bro. That would be sick.
She looks better bald than she does with hair.
Yeah. Because I mean, like you have to fight for it. So yeah, I mean, her fighting your boy would make the most sense, and that would be a good fight.
Yeah,
but she would.
So
be
her
a good
versus
Panther.
M'Baku. That'd be pretty dope.
I don't know if I would want to see M'Baku as the Black Panther.
He's a very straightforward character. So, I mean, I don't think anybody really wants that necessarily.
No.
But I think like
I don't want to see M'Baku as Black Panther. I really want to see Winston Duke as Black Panther. His character from Us. Like, y'all get out of here. It's gonna get nasty.
I haven't seen that movie yet.
It's good. I like it. I like the kind of tense horror movies though.
I caught the end of it one time.
I like it better than Get Out. Just because Get Out kind of telegraphed a lot of its.
I think Get Out is a horror movie for black men and black men only.
Yeah.
I think if you're not a black man, you can't understand. That'd be like if Starbucks was killing people. White women would be going crazy. That's I'm saying. That'd be. I'm just trying to make an example.
It'd be like if Starbucks was killing white people. Yeah.
No, but
kill other people. They don't care.
I'm just not done with T'Challa.
Sending hopes and prayers.
Oh no, nobody was. But
I'm just not done with T'Challa.
I don't think there's any way to do it without a huge uproar.
Yeah, I agree, but I see a lot of potential to move on.
It's too early, man.
Listen,
Just
the problem
one
is,
movie.
it's not the geeks are worried about. It's the SJWs.
Yeah.
Because honestly, you probably have more backlash from white people than you will anybody else. So don't get me wrong. Like, especially how they do it would play a big factor in doing it. But even just the principle of them
people who would vote for Obama the third time if they could.
The one that vote for Biden.
That's the Get Out. That's the line from Get Out.
But I just think that I don't know, man. To put in Shuri there. Not Shuri as a character, but this character they wrote for Shuri.
Here's the thing.
I have a problem with her being a warrior. This character, not the character from I understand. The character from Black Panther was a warrior. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It would make sense if she took on the mantle. Matter of fact, he passed it down to her because he knew that she can handle the mantle. I don't think T'Challa would have passed it down to his sister. In this iteration of what Black Panther was.
I can see it. They certainly didn't set her up as being any kind of warrior, but in the comics, she was still a nerd. She was still a rival to Tony Stark, you know.
But she was still a warrior too.
Yeah, exactly. And
even
but they didn't give her enough screen time, really. And she did hold her own at the towards the end of the movie. Yeah, with the Panther.
Cute, man, but
I mean, the way they were building it, I mean, they were expecting Chadwick to be around for 10 more years.
Yeah.
Well, that's a lot.
It is.
I was thinking 3 movies, then you move on.
I mean,
to like a different.
they were gonna have him carry the franchise for him
Yeah,
and Benedict.
But 2 more years. That's 4 to 6 years.
They're gonna wait until Tom gets a little older, and they're gonna put it on his back.
I say they sub out the 2022 movie of Black Panther for maybe to do with what's the women Warriors.
Dora Milaje.
Dora Milaje movie. I think that would be a knockout. A Dora Milaje movie. Them some fierce women.
I think it may be a situation where maybe they spend.
That would be an interesting fight.
I think most of the time they'll spend.
Oh, I'd like to see that.
Trying to figure out who's going to be.
Even though I like to see it. Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, you give you time to even work on another. Like, if you gonna how you gonna do this. Because from what I was hearing, and this is all word of mouth, but they was literally done with the script, and they was ready to start shooting next year. So now it's going to be a lot of revising the strip.
Absolutely,
yeah.
So why not just write a totally different strip and say, okay, let's hold off for this for later.
I think for now, the smart move may be to not focus on any one person, because to begin with, much of Black Panther the movie focused on them as a family.
Well, it focuses on Wakanda, really, if you really want.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'll give you that one.
But I think that there is a lot to be mined from putting this version of Shuri specifically in that role and following her and seeing her adapt to it and how she overcomes the problems that she faces with it. And I think it could probably be Marvel's first actual female-led movie. Strong female-led movie.
Well, see, this is the thing, though.
Could be their first good one.
This is the thing, though. I don't know. I liked it, what you call it. I liked it.
But you like everything.
Yeah. But here's the thing, though.
It was fine, but it just didn't. I don't know.
Here's the thing, though. And maybe I need to see it, but I just don't want nothing forced. Like, we just got a black character, and I don't want the second one to be like, oh, we had to force this because this happened. I want it to be a good script. How could they revise it that much in these few months? Because they start shooting in next year. They're gonna start shooting spring next year.
That's why I say focus on the family. Like, because if you do that, you can kind of almost treat him as if he's not there. Like I don't know if that's the right way to say that, but
well, like I said, I think you can do a situation where whatever the villain or problem is going to be, where it's more them coming together, where it's the Dora Milaje and the family in Baku, have them all kind of work together, the different tribes, to solve the problem, and maybe again whether one or a couple of them take the fruit just because it's such a bad situation, to where they have to do it. Or again, they don't pick one until the very, very end of the movie. So that way, you're not actually doing a Black Panther in the movie. You're just setting it in Wakanda.
All right, this last time we can move on. But what about not having a T'Challa person, but having a Black Panther as T'Challa?
Huh?
What? Like just having somebody in the Black Panther suit and just saying that it's T'Challa?
Yeah.
No.
I've been saying for years, man, get rid of Bruce Wayne and just give me Batman the whole movie.
I think they'll go because again he talks. Like we'll see what happens, man. I don't want to theorize too much on this. We very when we differ slightly on the approach of it.
Yep.
I understand why I keep the character going, but unfortunately, because of how much of a presence Boseman had, it'd be too hard to try to replace him now. You get too much backlash. 5-10 years from now, I mean, like I said, around 5-10 years, you're probably gonna reset the whole universe anyways.
That's why I said, why don't you just do a Dora Milaje movie? That would be perfect. I want to see the Dora Milaje so bad.
No, a series maybe, not a whole movie.
Something where you can focus on different members every time.
Well, it'd be like, I was thinking about maybe the king is away and a threat happened in Wakanda and they have to deal with it while the king's away.
Could Could be interesting.
Because, you know, if you look at the Nia character, they made her as the most fiercest general. Not female general, but the most fiercest general.
What do they do without the king?
Exactly.
Yeah, what do they do without the king? Because that's their role is more or less protect the king. Their royal guard, more or less. So
maybe you do like while he was in the spirit world or whatever.
Yep.
Maybe do a movie with focus on that.
I mean, again, he could be off on humanitarian effort. He could be off on different lot of things, and they
But
don't bother him.
I thought they would have to go with him though, cause they're for the king.
They didn't go with him. They went to Oakland.
No, they was there. He's just the seal.
You didn't see him. They went with his dad. Why wouldn't they go with him? Some Grace Jones looking girls out there. I think we need to move on though.
Yeah.
Because we spent vast majority on something that wasn't even on the list.
First of all, bro, that's been in my soul since he died.
I get you. Speak up and we'll do an episode on it.
I've been saying that in one of the post meeting after it happened. I was like, at some point we got to do a King T'Challa how to replace him episode.
So make a doc. Type up some talking points. Doesn't have to be thorough.
I mean, we just did.
Yeah, we just pretty much did.
A whole episode.
Yeah, I got it.
Well, thanks for joining us on this one last podcast.
It's out of me.
Moving along. So Hellstrom. Speaking of cancellations and things like that, Hellstrom has been canceled after just one season.
What is Hellstrom?
Hellstrom was the last Marvel show that they did under the Marvel TV banner before they opened up the Disney Plus and started doing all that. Basically, it was the last one because they finished it. I think it was already known that it was going to get canceled, and it's just they made it official. I didn't watch it. Haven't seen it yet. Looked fairly interesting. Sounded like it might have been pretty good, at least for that level.
Was it where they had like the multiple Daredevils or something like that? Not Daredevils, but what's
Ghost Riders.
Ghost Riders.
So what it is Hellstrom is the son of one of the devils from Marvel, more or less supposed to be son of Satan. Okay. Like that's actually his name is Damon Hellstrom, son of Satan. But they did a different take on it from my understanding, and I believe somehow they involved Zarathustra. No, what's his name? Yeah, the spirit of vengeance. The actual spirit that possesses Danny Ketch and Johnny Blaze and Jaime. Well, no, Jaime Reyes isn't. Yeah, Jaime Reyes isn't. Did I say Jaime? Robbie Reyes. Jaime is a Blue Beetle.
Reyes. And I was like, yeah.
Call Vargas and Reyes. Down for whatever. Call Jaime and Reyes. Down for whatever. Anyways, so it's been canceled because they're moving all their focus over to Disney Plus, including the MODOK show, Hit Monkey.
I think this is still slated for Hulu, to be honest.
Really? Okay.
So unless you get huge views, they didn't get much help.
I don't think they're gonna. Even if they did get huge views, I think the Disney's fairly set on being like, all right, we're gonna focus on this platform for our kids / Marvel stuff. Because like even the Mandalorian has a lot of violence to it, even though it's not like gory or anything like that. So it's kids, but it has potential for adults. So I think that's where a lot of the future of those shows are.
It's a tweener.
Is on Disney Plus.
Yeah, it definitely feels like they're focusing more on their big budget series opposed to the smaller features and smaller things. I don't know. Hopefully something shows up. Hopefully. I mean, if it's good, it's good. Hopefully it lasts. I mean, if they can move it over. Again, Hulu should still be a viable source, although I mean it's definitely on the mid-range, lower end of the streaming services.
I heard something thrown around a while back where they were talking about possibly using Hulu as their streaming service for their more adult content.
Yeah. Like,
makes sense.
Like Deadpool would be on there.
And I mean, that being said, too, I had no idea how streaming came out.
I knew it was out. I knew it was coming. Mainly because I spent a lot of time on YouTube, but I never really
saw a trailer, but I never saw a release date for it. I just assumed it was coming out next year.
The Tube Land.
What?
The Tube.
Tube.
Totally tubular.
So we'll skip over the next one, then we'll go on to just to stay Marvel. So keeping with Marvel news, allegedly, it's all alleged, but pretty strong possibility. 2 more actors have been added to the Spider-Man 3 cast. Willem Dafoe and Thomas Hayden Church reprising their roles as the Green Goblin and Hobgoblin, respectively.
But ain't they dead?
In the Green Goblin is dead allegedly in the first one, and Thomas Hayden Church just kind of disappeared. He like sanded away.
Salmon.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yep. So it's a possibility that that may happen. Again, nobody knows what the hell all this stuff means. All these apparent,
I know
reusing. It means Spider-Verse, but doesn't mean are they just going to be cameos, or it's going to be like a quick 5-minute burst of like, hey, this is happening here, this is happening there.
It'll be cameos because again, like most of the actors are naming like Thomas Hayden Church, Willem Dafoe, Alfred Molina, like they're in their 60s now.
Yeah.
60s and more. Like there's not a lot they're going to be able to do. Again, granted, you can just throw somebody in a suit and say it's and have Dafoe do the voiceover.
90% green screen, anyways.
So I mean, there's a lot of things you can do with that.
De-age technology.
Hell, the Mandalorian, you don't even need a set anymore.
So
they use giant LED screen TVs and they move them around so that whatever angle you shoot from will show you the shot that you're looking for.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of things
So that's not real. Like that's a TV you see in the background.
There are actual physical sets too, but yeah, there's a lot of them. Like that first episode where where they're out on the ice and stuff. That's all fake.
They did a good job, Dan.
Yep.
But yeah, I think most of them probably towards like just for the last half of the movie.
Yeah. Another alleged rumor it's actually keep getting more and more push, so could very well be true. Charlie Cox reprising his role as Daredevil in the MCU. Possible movies / properties that he's going to show up in. Spider-Man 3, or as we've taken to dubbing it, Spider-Man Full House. She-Hulk, possibly as another lawyer. Oh, in Spider-Man 3, maybe he seeks out some legal help to get him squared away with his accusations from Mysterio about being...
That's one thing I heard of.
Mm-hmm. She-Hulk.
Theory.
We already know that she's going to be a lawyer in that one, of course, following the character. So maybe he shows up there as a rival or an ally. And then the latest rumor is Moon Knight, which makes a lot of sense. Just street level guys, fisting it up like they do.
Moon Knight makes more sense, especially if they're going to be going more towards him being schizophrenic and him having him being unstable.
Maybe they got to get lawyered up for that.
Yeah. I definitely don't want to see him jumping around in like multiple things just for cameos.
Sure.
A good chance. I think between She-Hulk and Moon Knight, it gives them the best 2 chances to show off, to have him like be premiered. He just wouldn't fit in a Spider-Man movie. He just wouldn't. At this point in his Daredevil career, like he's not even full Daredevil. You only had like one season of him actually in the costume.
Yeah.
He would fit more in a Moon Knight world or possibly in the She-Hulk world.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm afraid of him being in the She-Hulk, it would overshadow the story. It just wouldn't work there, but we'll see.
And D'Onofrio is trying to make his character the of the MCU.
Yeah. I see him, like, I enjoyed his performance. I thought it was really great, but I see him significantly less than I would see Charlie Cox, because he was extremely violent in his portrayal and kind of unhinged. Whereas any Kingpin you're going to see in the MCU, unless they do, like their adult version MCU movies / shows and everything on a separate platform, he wouldn't fit in there because he's not kiddie enough. But if they do that, if they go the other route and say they take their Daredevils, even their Moon Knight to a certain extent, which I already know that they're going to put that on Disney Plus. But following concept here, maybe their Deadpool. They put him on this on their pretty much under their Fox Searchlight banner, which is no longer Fox Searchlight. I think it's just 21st Century or 20th Century or whatever they're calling it. But and they do that. Yeah, I can see that. But right now, the MCU is a little bit too kid friendly. Moving along. Speaking on actors returning to their roles, Hayden Christensen is set to reprise his role as Darth Vader. For they had 2 seconds that he was actually Darth Vader in Revenge of the Sith in the Obi-Wan Kenobi series.
They're doing an Obi-Wan Kenobi series?
They're doing an Obi-Wan Kenobi series, starring none other than hello there. Why am I drawing a blank on his name? Ewan McGregor. There we go. Thanks for having me back.
Older or younger?
Middle-aged? Older than he was in Revenge of the Sith, younger than he was in New Hope. No word how big his role is going to be, or how prominently they will feature his hatred of sand.
Wait, we talking about like after he was Jesus? You seen
Yes, we're talking about after he was Jesus.
You seen the memes?
Between 3 and 4, I have to imagine it's probably closer to being between Mandalorian and A New Hope. Probably more closer to how he is, how his age is now. Well, that boy does not age like a normal person either.
Yeah.
He'll definitely be. He would have been on the run for a while. The Hayden Christensen, I'm hoping, is more just like flashbacks than anything else, or like what ifs. He's imagining in his head like what he could have been if this would have gone on, or he's having conversation with him in his spirit form. He's showing his Hayden Christensen as opposed to Vader. I don't know, man. We'll see. We literally know nothing about this. They announced it last year and just quickly postponed it.
So we'll see what happens. Moving from redoing to rebooting. Getting a reboot of Walker, Texas Ranger.
I seen that.
Premiered on January 21st on the CW. The lucky actor on the CW. Wait till you hear who gets to play Walker.
On the CW? Wait.
Have you seen?
Wait, Chuck Norris.
Hold on.
Wait, Chuck Norris is not playing Walker.
He's not doing that.
What are they doing?
You think Chuck Norris would be caught dead on the CW?
That's facts.
He ain't doing shit.
But I'm telling you, he's gonna play Walker because he still can play Walker.
So the lucky actor who gets to play Walker, Texas Ranger. Have you ever seen Supernatural? Okay. Jared Padalecki. Yeah, that one. Jared Padalecki from Supernatural fame and Gilmore Girls fame. He's going to play Chuck Norris. Not sure why they chose him. I suppose just because they probably had him on retainer or something.
Recognizable face because again, like,
has no martial arts background. Like,
him?
What? I'm shrugging. Chuck Norris was a multi-time champion.
It's a CW show.
I know.
I'm not concerned about that at all.
I suppose.
And again, they're also, I don't know anything about the details of the CW show or the original show, but I don't think it was about him trying to solve the murder of his wife.
No, it was just he was a Texas Ranger just going around Texas Rangering it up.
He comes off
Walking around.
He's still a ranger. He comes off of his years of undercover work, comes back to his family, and is trying to solve the mystery of his wife's murder. So already like
Punisher.
Angsty. Well, yeah, kind of. But just with 10-gallon hats.
Is it in Texas?
Yeah, it's in Austin. So things get weird.
Trying to think of a
yes and no for me.
Punish y'all. So going from a reboot to a re-release, the Snyder Cut. Paul, you want to take that one?
No.
no, I don't.
No, just because my volume is so low right now on the recording that it won't do much good.
All right. So, 4-hour Justice League Snyder Cut may get a theatrical release, and Snyder thinks it may be rated R. Quote from Zack Snyder. I'm going to do it in my best Zack Snyder voice. Here's one piece of information nobody knows. The movie is insane and so epic and it's probably rated R. That's one thing I think will happen. That it will be a rated R version for sure. We haven't heard from the MPAA, but that's my gut. But what if? But what if? So, me and Paul had a conversation in the car the other day where we were driving to IKEA, as hetero life mates do. And
I like that hetero life mates.
We stole it. And thanks, Kevin Smith. At Kevin Smith. So we had this conversation about like different. It was all about different directors and things like that. And are there actual big directors anymore? Like directors that can just go to a studio, say, "Give me this money, and let me make what I want to make." And he did. Zack Snyder came up in the conversation, and very specifically, we just were kind of talking, and we just stumbled on this idea that Zack Snyder's general thing is like taking a property and saying, "Yeah, but what if?" Like taking Dawn of the Dead, yeah. Consumer culture zombie apocalypse set in the mall. Yeah, but what if it were really special effects heavy and all this and
I mean, I think the best example of that really is Man of Steel.
Yeah.
It's he's the Blue Boy Scout, but what if he was emo?
Yeah.
Almost swallowed and choked.
Yep.
Swallow it.
So I don't know what to do with that news. Like, if you really think about it.
He's pushing for a theatrical release, and Warner doesn't want to, but they're kind of stuck because whatever Zack wants at this point, they're going to do.
I just gave him the fucking okay already. They gave him the okay already, basically. Like, with doing the Snyder Cut, they're going to be like, all right, well, we're already releasing it for free. We may as well put it in theaters.
Yeah, so they'll probably do a limited release, probably in major cities.
So he's kind of taking, like, advantage of the current WB release thing in reverse. Like, if you think about it. So, because the WB is doing all their movies simultaneously streaming and in theaters, he's kind of taking advantage of that by being like, but what if? What if we did it in reverse? What if we released the streaming only thing in theaters? Because that's how his brain works.
Yep. So Snyder's getting all the money, all the time, all the resources, all the reshoots he wants. So when this is over, y'all just be happy with what you get, okay?
Yep.
Just take it.
I love like a tag onto this news that all of a sudden in the news you see all of these DC directors that are now bad mouthing Joss Whedon's version of the Justice League years after it came out. Yeah. Like now they don't like it. Now it's a problem because Warner Brothers is getting set up to re-release it with Zack Snyder's extra input.
Yeah.
So I think that's just ridiculous. Like
Joss Whedon should have never left Marvel.
He's fine.
Listen, Joss Whedon has a bunch of other problems going on, so the Justice League is just another bump in the road.
Yep. One more piece of news, just to go very quickly into it. Bella Thorne is back in the news for being a terrible person. So long story short, you were reading it earlier, Paul. Basically, she went on, talked a bunch of smack about everybody else joining OnlyFans because she was the first one to do it.
Yeah, she claimed to be the first celebrity on OnlyFans, and she got a bunch of shit for it. Now everybody else is doing it, so now that's really she's just like really dramatic about it. And I'm like, first of all, there's multiple things for this. One, wasn't the first celebrity on there. He was on
See,
there.
my initial gut would be, first off, you are not a celebrity.
I would easily argue there's more porn stars that are more famous than she is.
Yep. Easily.
No disrespect, but where's Bella Thorne from?
Just Disney shit.
Bella Thorne, she was a Disney chick, and now she's an actress, and she's very big on Instagram.
What she did on Disney?
I don't know.
Literally no idea.
No idea. She was on there. She was a Disney girl who, did the Disney girl thing where they grow up and they break out and yada yada. And she just has not been able to actually do a legitimate career.
In the article, they reference her being in something that's like a spin-off of another series I never heard of. when she joined it, she claimed it was for research for a role. Anyways, the big problem they ran into is not about her being a celebrity, because again, there were more famous people on there before her. Cardi B, Black China, again, like nearly every porn star. Plenty of people were on there before her. The problem is that she lied, charged ridiculous prices for a bunch of stuff, and then didn't deliver on what she promised. So that caused a huge backlash in refunds, causing the platform to change all their pay scales. So a lot of people who were using this as their main job now weren't making as much money as they were before.
Yeah.
So now those people have to do even more things to try to make as much money as they were making before.
In the middle of the
And
pandemic.
now she's the victim.
In the middle of the pandemic.
Yeah. So again, the problem is, and when she got flagged on hard online, is because she's just not self-aware of what her role in all this was. Like, she isn't the reason people are on OnlyFans now. She's not the reason more celebrities. Again, barely a celebrity. Like, I don't know. I guess a bunch of 18-year-olds freaked out about her being on there because they wanted to see this girl they grew up with, I guess. But again, looks like a generic fucking girl. I don't see literally anything special about her. Like, I guess she's a redhead.
It doesn't matter.
But just nothing special about her. And for some reason, like, a lot of people freaked out. And again, like, she broke a record of making like $1 million in like 2 days.
Yeah.
$1 million in subscriptions in 2 days, and we're selling like was selling like claiming to sell news like through like she was gonna sell like 3 news for like $200 for a pack, and then they weren't even nudes. So like false advertising, just everything she's doing was wrong about it, and it caused a bunch of backlash. And they had to do a bunch of refunds and change the way the platform operates, pissing off thousands and thousands of people.
Yep. Again, in the middle of the pandemic, when there's so many people who like, they just assume you got like strippers who are now out of work because they can't go to the clubs, and they do that. That's fine. That's on their own terms. They can sell whatever they want. But now they're limited to what they can get. They're limited to how much they can cash out at a time. And I think they're limited to how much they can make at any given time.
Yeah, they just dropped the limits. I mean, you can still make a lot of money, but yeah, you have to put a lot more work and spread more out. Like, you have to do a lot more stuff daily now. Because again, I think there were daily caps put in, and like the maximum number of things you can charge for each thing.
Yep.
Which again, I mean, whether you agree with it or not doesn't really matter. That's what it was. But this one person who again has not acknowledged the mistake she's made.
Yep.
Well, she did, but she acknowledged that she's the victim.
I don't even know. She's not even saying that she's a victim. She's trying to just get more attention out of it. I don't doubt that even acknowledging it as she had, like, you know, in this tweet, it was a tweet or was a.
I think it was a story.
A story. Even acknowledging it in that way that she did was only to draw more attention to the project she was working on. So basically, she fucked up a bunch of shit for other people, and like, be like if the used car salesman like sold you a shitty car and like put a bunch of the other used car salesmen out of the business, and then when you came back and complained about it, said, you know, it's not my fault that these people bought this shitty car. Now here, buy this car that's equally as shitty. Like, just ignoring completely people's actual complaints, just so that she can shill her product that's probably not even any good. Yep. Well, that was a long-ass news recap. So shall we go into our main topic? Real fucking quick.
The real quick topic of the day.
Binging.
What you talking in Chihuahua?
Yes, I was. Binging. Streaming. Bandwidth? I don't know. These are words that are thrown around a lot. What are they all related to? They're related to the content we watch. Content has changed. Nowadays, we watch a lot of stuff online instead of on the television and things like that. For our younger viewers, the television was the thing that used to broadcast, but it's not important. So, currently, we've got many different streaming platforms. Netflix, Prime Video, Disney+, Hulu, ESPN+. What's the CBS one? All Access. We have Peacock.
The cock.
The cock. Gotta love the cock. All the time, these things are evolving, changing, and adding new content, original content, existing content, everything. So, more or less, as we see these things, new content, original content, what is our preferred delivery method? How do we like to watch these things? Do we like to binge them all at once? Do we like to have all the episodes sitting right there so I can just chow down on them buffet style? Or do we prefer to watch them in a timed manner? Like some kind of conveyor belt that feeds food. What's that one place we went?
I'm a binger.
You're a binger?
I'm a binger.
I'm in a binger. Nice. I agree with you for the most part.
I can't. Once I was able to watch something back to back and actually remember what happened in the last episode verbatim.
Yeah.
That changed everything for me.
But even that, like, to me, has changed because of streaming. Because you can go back and watch the previous episode before.
Yeah, I'm not a backer.
Well,
I'm not a rewatcher.
That's a life choice you've made.
Yeah.
But
I'm saying that's why binging works for me, because I don't go back and watch it.
And don't get me wrong, yes, that's probably the more effective way to do it. Certainly the more timely way to do it. Get all of it in at once so you can focus on the story as you're seeing it, experience as it is. But I think there's an argument to be made for both. There's certainly certain instances which the content itself, would determine whether or not binging is a viable form or individualized streaming, like episodic streaming, timed streaming, weekly, I guess, is where the most common thing is more beneficial. Mandalorian, for sure. I think we saw plenty of memes that come out of that, like one trickle down at a time, and you get Baby Yoda memes, you get the soup meme, that came out.
But to be fair, to be honest though, I binged that too.
You waited until it was done and then you binged it?
Yeah, basically, I was like 3 episodes into this season before I went back and watched last season and this season.
And that's your preference.
Yeah.
But I think there's an argument to be made where something like...
But I did the weekly thing with
The Boys.
The Boys.
Yep.
Now, I'm going to tell you, I ain't going to tell you, I don't want to say that because that's something that we can benefit off.
What's that?
I'm not going to tell you. They might steal our idea.
Okay, well, Mandalorian, I think, on an individual basis...
Who's they?
You can definitely binge it.
Whoever listen.
But I think it got as big as it did because it was released weekly. Because the Baby Yoda memes, the Daddy Mando memes, those had time to breathe and grow and take on a life of its own. So I think like that was even just as much of a part of it being as popular as it is than the show itself. Because I could be objective. Like the series was very straightforward. It was very simplistic. And again, your main character shows zero to minimal emotions or depth.
Yep.
He's a very simple character who just like for some reason this time it's too much for him.
I can bring you in cold or I can bring you in warm.
Yeah. But again, just seeing this 50-year-old baby changes him.
I can't
Man, this guy would just get fucking freaked out in America.
Stand this dude. He said 50-year-old baby.
He's a 50-year-old baby. They go out of their way to say he's 50 years old in the first episode.
So yeah, it's very unique.
I can't stand dude right here, bro.
Sorry, bro. So like again, I feel
50-year-old baby
gain from that. Whereas I think
Must be a Republican.
Whereas a show like early this year, for how many weeks Tiger King dominated social media.
I mean, we never socially recovered from it.
So I mean, like that's a show that didn't need the weekly. I think for the weekly views, it helps for a show that maybe is a little different, like Mandalorian, where it helps it, or a show like The Boys, where every episode has this cliffhanger, has this big thing towards the end of the episode where you're like, "Fuck," you need to take a breath.
Well, And I
I
think
played. Go ahead.
I think the difference. You gonna play Devil's Advocate?
Yeah.
I think the difference is Mandalorian and the boys have a story. Like there's quote unquote story in Tiger King, but it's really just a spectacle.
It's not a spectacle. It's spectacular.
Well,
I don't think I've even seen it yet.
I think there are plenty of shows with stories that you don't have to watch weekly. You can binge.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say shows like shows that have like dramatic, have like big endings, or have these like dense episodes. And again, whether it's a drama, a thriller, a horror, a sci-fi, an action, a comedy, whatever it might be. Because like again, let's look at comedy. I think comedies is kind of a good example of this. Most comedies you can binge and not have any problem. There's no like there's a through line throughout the series, but very little like stuff. Whereas maybe it's just me. A show like Auntie Donna, Big Old House of Fun, is a very dense comedy. So you almost need to take a break from it to kind of like be able to like enjoy it and process it more. Not necessary, but you know, then obviously a more traditional show like Breaking Bad, that really gains from having that week in between to take in what just happened. Because you have any show with these oh shit moments, these big deaths, these big reveals, like it gains from having that break in between. Even a show as simple as like Stargirl. Like, again, granted, also they're long ass episodes, so it's hard to watch 14, 13, 53-minute episodes.
Yeah.
48, whatever it is. But the first few episodes were pretty dense, and in a good way. So there are definitely shows where binging is still very prominent, very useful. Some shows, again, like We're the Boys, Mandalorian, where having that weekly release, it maybe not for the individual, but for the viewers as a whole, is able to kind of help flame the fire for it.
I think that's more of an age thing than anything. Like the twins and the kids are like that age, you know, maybe I'm gonna say 25 and younger. They're not waiting a week to see this stuff. Like they'll let it do up and then they'll binge it later. So I think, and that's not even why I'm playing the devilish advocate. I'm just saying I think that's more of an our age thing because we was accustomed to that coming up.
Maybe, but I don't think all those games from Mandalorian were made by 30-year-olds.
But I'm gonna say that. Well, I don't know. I think so. Bro, some of the ones that I've seen, they're some grown men. But this is why I'm gonna play the devilish advocate. If Mandalorian wasn't on Disney Plus, a new platform, and it wasn't a part of the Star Wars world, it was just a standalone show. Will it have worked the same?
what do you mean? Like, would it have been as good, or would it have been as popular?
Popular.
No, absolutely not.
That's what I'm saying. Like, so,
But
I think Disney helped that because that's Disney platform. If you go back to the Disney Channel,
no. But you said two things there. You said if it wasn't connected to Star Wars, that's the part that would have terminated it. Like that's what would have completely eliminated its popularity.
Okay,
That it's on Disney Plus, I don't think has actually probably hurt its popularity. If they would have gone onto Netflix, a platform that billions of people, however many 300 million or whatever people already have, like it would have been more successful, or at least more popular.
You can't say it hurt its popularity when its own damn is popular. It's one of the most popular shows out.
It's the only show on there that's popular.
But what I'm saying is, you can't say it hurt its popularity when it's popular. Like you can't say
I
something was cold
because it could have been more popular if it was on a more successful platform.
But we don't know that because it's popular. Like everybody know about it. It's everywhere. So we don't. I can't.
But
say
does
that
everybody know about it because they saw it on Disney Plus, or do they know about it because of the memes and because they hear about it in the news?
I don't know.
And they hear about it.
I don't know. It could be
And because it's attached to Star Wars.
But it's not, I don't care how it got popular. What I'm saying is,
I guarantee people have pirated it.
But what I'm saying is, you can't say it would have been more popular somewhere else when it's already popular here.
Yes, I can. Because on a platform with more people, with a bigger reach, If it's the same quality show with the same connections,
people.
if it's the same quality show with the same connection to the same franchise, it would have been reached more people and been more popular. Being on Disney Plus didn't help it at all. It helped Disney Plus plenty, but
I don't know. I'm gonna disagree. Agree to disagree.
Okay.
Cause I think that I don't know. Go ahead. I feel like we're talking about when you look at binging thing. It's the difference between people our age and even I'm y'all age and I don't even care to watch it weekly. I want to binge it. But what I'm saying, like you look at the young folks, they don't binge. They don't keep up with weekly stuff. They're a red knot culture. They binge.
Well, I disagree because I'd say for the younger generation, more so than us now, they spend more time on YouTube. They spend more time on social, and all those places do weekly releases.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And they're not waiting to watch 4 of them in a row. They're watching as they come out.
They're not waiting for Ninja to drop his latest video, for PewDiePie to drop his latest video.
But see, it's a difference though because they drop a video every day on YouTube. It's an everyday process. You get so they get it every day.
For the vloggers, yes. But I mean, there are a lot of platforms that only do like an episode once a week or maybe 3 times.
No, I'm talking about more or less like most of the kids that be on YouTube, they on there for gaming, etc. And these people game every day. And if they don't get that gaming fix from them, they're gonna get a gaming fix from somebody else. They're gonna watch a gaming thing every day.
Game theory was very big with a lot of young people.
Huh?
Most of that's gonna be on Twitch though.
No, it's on YouTube too.
Yeah, a little bit.
It's on YouTube. It's on Facebook. It's on all this stuff.
Also, what we're talking about too is not about preference. It's about when these shows are coming out. Because again, like Mandalorian's being put out each week, and again, whatever kind of show it might be, you can't wait because everybody's gonna spoil it for you.
Yep.
See, this is why I'm having this conversation because when you look at Netflix, they not taking that every week model approach to Holly much. I don't know a show on there where they do that, and they still are very popular with their shows.
They do it with the shows that make sense. Like they do it with like their talk shows. They do it with their game shows. They do it with things like that where they have weekly releases.
And I think that'd be more of our age though. The game shows and talk shows that'd be more for us, our age.
I would agree with you that age is definitely a factor. If nothing else, just because we grew up with that mindset.
That's my whole point. That's my whole point.
That's fine, but again, like things like that because they're topical. Because like again, like the show from Hassan Minaj, that was a weekly release on there because it talked about the weekly events. It talked about what was going on in real time. Game show, same thing. You know, you can interview people and talk to people in real time, and even like the Joe McHale show with Joe McHale. Like again, that was a weekly show thing because it was what's going on, what are clips, what's popular in that week.
Brilliant name.
Because some things you have to do in the moment. So they don't do much of it, granted, because again, like they are the original Swimmer Dick.
But what I'm saying is that those shows are more for us, right? Those shows will be more for people that our age. I'm gonna say early to
they're
mid-30s.
certainly not for the young children.
And I'm gonna say I think you got to break this up into 25 and under and 25 and older. I really do.
Well, I mean, 25-year-olds still watch news and want to hear about current events and things like that.
Yeah, you get it, but they get it from Facebook
I would say
now.
18 and under.
They get it from Facebook now.
It's fake news.
No,
Well, the Twitter,
Yeah.
Facebook, whatever.
Facebook, that's you.
But you get my point. They're not getting it from a station. They're not getting it from Fox News and stuff like that.
We're also describing streaming services. We're not saying the news.
But my point is
saying it's a factor in their decision.
Yeah, what I'm saying is, we growing up, if you go back to Fresh Prince when we watched it every week, we used to that. That's something that's easy for us to follow along. Whereas these young kids, they don't even have cable boxes no more.
They've already had streaming and the ability to binge for a very long time.
So like they came up under the Netflix model of binging.
Yep.
So like binging is going to work better for them more than it will work for us.
I would say that, there's a lot of validity with what you're saying, but there's also a huge point from what he was saying about them not wanting to be behind. and especially now in the meme culture, where like I don't think I saw the first episode of The Mandalorian the first day had the Baby Yoda reveal spoiled for me. Like just because it was a meme by that point. Like I tried to stay off Facebook, I think too, and I just happened to see it somewhere, and it was like okay, and that was a big point of the episode.
Yeah.
Like because
like I said too, like this isn't an argument for or against weekly shows.
No. I'm just saying.
I think some shows.
I was playing devilish advocate.
I think some shows do benefit from it, especially shows that like maybe don't have like the big storyline or big things to really carry it to like make it a phenomenon. But if it has these memeable moments to help it grow, that's where I think that's where it's coming.
Baby Yoda having a cup of soup.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that meme. That's pretty cool.
Huh?
I missed that one. I didn't get
That meme?
Yeah.
I bought you a cup with it on it.
Were you not online last year?
Oh yeah, I remember. I said that last year.
Were you not online last year?
I don't remember anything about that last year. That's what I'm saying. Y'all talking about the Baby Yoda meme. I'm only getting to the one this year.
It was everywhere. I don't know. I mean, maybe they make it to old ass Facebook.
Y'all gonna put some respect on Facebook name as it steals everything.
I'll stick to younger Facebook.
You didn't see that meme.
No.
You're lying. Bro.
Bro, I didn't do it. To be honest with you, bro, I didn't care nothing about no Mandalorian last year, bro.
Right.
Like I said, I'm all for both, and like I said, I enjoy both. Like I enjoy watching my animes on a weekly basis. I enjoy binging a lot of animes. I enjoy watching my series and my comedies all at one time. Like again, I'm forcing myself through watching Naruto. At the same time, I have a lot of shows that I'm watching on a weekly basis. So I think there's room for both. And again, I don't think it's of course, generations have their preferences, but also I think our age having to wait for every week for those episodes. That's why especially people like you who want everything binged. I completely understand that.
Well, then you also got to understand me. I'm different because, like I said, I'm on YouTube. Like if you look at Zion to tell you, we look at my my app, whatever. YouTube is 90% of my app thing, right? I really don't care too much for watching shows or anything, other than like superhero stuff, right? Last year, I didn't care much about I'm just not watching the Disney shows. I'm just not watching the Star Wars shows for the first time starting a couple days ago. You feel what I'm saying? I binge watched the whole first season of Mandalorian. Remember, I didn't care nothing about this stuff, so it wouldn't have hit me. And yes, I'm on Facebook a lot, but I'm not on Facebook a lot. You get what I'm saying? Like Facebook is my only social media app. Well, I'm starting to learn IG a lot more now, but Facebook was my only like social media, and like it was a lot of like I follow a lot of like Jesus stuff. I follow a lot of stuff that I'm into, So it's like the stuff that comes up on y'all radar is not going to come up on mine because that's not what I'm looking for. You get what I'm saying? So now I'm following all these Baby Yoda meme channels. Guess what I'm getting? A lot of Baby Yoda memes. You feel what I'm saying? So that's what I'm trying to get y'all. I'm different, and I'm more like 90% YouTube. I like what I want. I want to know what I want. 80% of my YouTube stuff is podcasts. The other it's probably less than 80, but it's podcasts and music stuff. That's just what I'm into. So like a lot of that stuff wouldn't have came up on my timeline.
Well, Father Nathan D said nobody is a unique snowflake.
Huh?
Father Nathan D said nobody is a unique snowflake.
Yeah,
I am.
Plenty of people like you.
Yeah.
We're all individuals.
Yellow ass snowflake.
Well, I'm just saying, like, so I don't know.
It's racist.
I get it. You're special. You're special. Ryan's special. We're all special.
Everybody's special. In a land where everyone's special, no one is.
I have a whole new case of participation trophies coming out.
You know what I was binging last year?
Confederate flags?
The only show I can remember binging last year was...
2020.
Nice.
So what?
The only show I can remember binging last year was This Is Us. That's like the only show I like, because I never seen it before. Then I watched the first episode and I just binged it like crazy.
Nice.
Real talk, this won't last.
For real.
But I did start watching that one show, the group of things on HBO Max, a group of superheroes.
Oh, the Doom Patrol?
Doom Patrol.
Doom Patrol's good.
I watched the first few episodes and it's pretty good.
It's weird. It's head trippy, but it's good.
I was surprised to see your boy in there.
Brendan Fraser?
Oh man,
Yeah.
he looked good too. I was so happy to see Brendan.
Yep. Banging the maid.
Yeah.
Nanny, that's what it was. So, I think we solved the streaming crisis. And
What's next? COVID?
yes,
He's stupid.
getting those vaccines. We're going to do herd immunity, and we're just going to go around and start coughing on people.
Burn your face.
We don't even think that, we don't even think that we have COVID. We're just going to go around coughing on people. So I think it's going to do it for us today.
First of all, COVID was made up by the man to keep us down.
Sure.
What does that mean?
Zippity doo dah. So, thank you for joining us today on This Won't Last podcast. We appreciate you stopping by, listening to us today. To my right is Kevin. Yep, we're gonna do it. Don't worry about it. He's reminding me to that our listeners can save 25% on brightswimmer.com if they use our code TWL25. Brightswimmer.com. TWL25.
What's the code?
TWL25. Brightswimmer.com.
What?
So, go ahead and take a look at that. It's our current partnership, and we're possibly getting more in the future.
I'm just saying, it only makes sense to get your swimwear now because when you get to the summertime, they're going to have them prices hiked up. Not that bright. You can get them prices now.
Mm-hmm. Brightswimmer.com.
Yep.
If you use TWL25.
What's the code?
TWL25.
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 .com.
Brightswimwear.com. They're macaroni in the pot. So, thank you for joining us. Check us out on Instagram. Check us out on Facebook. Check us out on Twitter, though we're less popular there. Check us out on Podbean. Listen to the podcast. I know you're already listening to it, but wherever you want to listen to the rest of the podcast, we have 58? 59?
We everywhere, man.
10 away from the magic number.
We're on Spotify, Apple, Google Podcasts. Wherever you listen to podcasts, I bet you we're on there. If we're not,
Let us know.
let me know.
You can Google us, This Won't Last Podcast, or you can use our link tree, linktree.e/This Won't Last. And
What's our OnlyFans?
it's non-existent
Deadass,
yet.
we're making one.
Yeah.
So if you have any requests, hit us up.
Yep.
We're starting off with feet.
Yes.
No, we're going to build up the feet.
Ooh, have you seen my feet?
Let's do the premium. Listen, both y'all got special feet.
Oh, yeah.
Just be
Oh,
True.
yeah. I got them toes, homie.
My legs are normal,
You're watching with a collaboration between D-Easy and Ryan Be Online. We're going to call it Ebony and Ivory. Together in...
we call it Black Panther, White Wolf.
Nice. Yeah, that's good.
Y'all fucking claws and shit.
So to my left has been P. Breezy.
What up, Dust?
To my right has been D-Easy, the
TW25.
TWL25. And I have been Ryan Be Online, the TWL25 as well. Thank you for joining us. Bye.
Bye.
Macaroni in the pot.